Hello friends, I'm going to be doing a review today of the Zmodo EZCam Pro 1080p 4-pack for you. I have my 4-pack here, just to kind of show you what it looks like. They're all 4 individually packaged cameras. On the front of the camera you of course just have the basic Zmodo logo. On the back you have your specifications that include the diagram, technical specifications as far as 1080p, 120 degree field of view, 26 feet of IR night vision, motion detection. I already said it's up to 1080p, but it's at 25 frames per second. Has a built-in speaker and microphone for two-way audio. It has AO2.11b, G, and N compatible Wi-Fi adapter. That's going to be on the 2.4 band only, not the 5 gigahertz band. It includes the power supply, and it's roughly a quarter of a pound total. It's 0.25 pounds. I don't know how exact that is, but that's what they say. Features include, according to the box, easy setup, HD video, two-way audio, motion detection, remote access, and night vision, which I can attest to the Zmodo products. I've been using them myself for quite some time now. I have currently 5 Zmodo devices, including the doorbell. I'll just kind of give you a quick view of that real quick. I use the ZViewer software on my desktop computer. This is my doorbell. Here is my kitchen camera, which is also actually a 1080p EZCam, just like what I have still in the box here. I already have one of those. I have a few other cameras. I'm not going to show you those because that's the rest of my house. I would like to real quick give everybody a quick view of the ZViewer software. So the ZViewer software, you can download it off the Zmodo website in the support section. This is something that you run locally so that you don't actually have to connect to the internet to view your cameras. If you're, for example, your internet provider cuts your service for whatever reason, outages, whatever it may be, you can still locally view and record your cameras from your home computer, acting as basically a server. So a couple of the cool features I'm going to show to you here real quick is first the add function. So you click on the little magnifying glass with the plus button up here. Once you have it downloaded, of course, you hit search, and it's actually going to search your entire network, the network that your computer's on, for your active cameras. Now I only have 3 plugged in right now because I have 2 of them unplugged. You hit add, finish, and it'll show you in red which cameras are active here on the side. Now you'll see over here my kitchen is kind of dark. So if I were to come over here to the left hand side and I click on it and hit remote settings, I can go in here and I can adjust, of course, the time, but the image setting. So I can adjust the brightness to make it a little bit brighter. Of course, you don't want to blow it out and you don't want it to be too dark, but I can adjust it reasonably along with the contrast to kind of see what's going on better in there, get a better picture. I can also adjust the frame rate. So by default, the frame rate I think is actually set at 20 by default. 20 is a good frame rate for any camera. If you go any slower, you're going to start noticing that's 20 frames per second. The box does say that the default is 25 frames per second, but I think I normally find mine at 20. But that's 20 frames every second that it's capturing. It's more than enough. In fact, if you wanted to reserve bandwidth, you could probably even drop it down reasonably to about 15 and still get a good quality picture every time. Of course, you can do other things in here. You can reboot the device. I haven't tested the restore factory settings. I haven't tested regular maintenance, things like that, so I can't really speak to those functions, but they're there. If you want to record, you will need an external device to save your video on flash drive, portable hard drive, something like that, or dedicated hard drive, because you can't specify how much space it's going to use. So if you come into the playback tab up here and you click on record settings, you can come in here and you can edit the times that each camera will record. You can even create templates. And then you come down here and you can dedicate the storage path. This is where you'd want to specify your flash drive, hard drive, things like that. How long each video segment is. The reason this is important because the shorter segments, the more likely you are to save that, because as your storage fills up, it's going to start refilling it in whatever that segment is. So I normally go with 15-minute segments. Disk allowance reached. You could either, what that means is if you fill up your flash drive or portable hard drive or dedicated hard drive, you either stop recording, and that way you can, get a new one if you wanted to save everything forever, or you could just overwrite and have it fill back up over that old drive. I generally keep mine at overwrite because I just use a flash drive right now. Events, you can set motion zones. From my experience, this is not the most accurate. The best way to do it's going to be through the app, which I'll get to here in a few minutes. But it also, it works as a nice little command center. You can change your layout down here to where you only have one. You set it to 4, 6, 16 even. I keep mine right about here at 6 just because of the fact that I have 5 cameras. Of course, when I set these up, that's going to have to change a little bit because I'm going to have more cameras. So I'm going to go ahead and start pulling one of these out. I'm going to point my camera down so that everybody can see what's going on. Oh, first, before I go any further, I do want to go ahead and pull up the web browser so you can take a look at the page. So this is the Zmodo EZCam Pro webpage. As you can see, I kind of got off the screen there. As you can see, they go for $39.99 each. However, on Amazon, you can buy a 4-pack for $125. Now, when you break that down, you're talking savings for sure. You're not paying $40. That would be $40, $80, $120, $160 for 4, whereas you can just get 4 for $125 in the pack here. Of course, you do, if you want the cloud storage, have to pay for that. Their pricing scheme really isn't all that bad. It's per device, so that's important to note, but when you look at it initially, it can be a little confusing. So it's, if you get the 7-day of cloud storage, meaning it will record and keep alerts for up to 7 days, including all of your recordings up until that point, it's $5 per device, but after the first device it cuts in half. So realistically, you have a $5, $2.50, $2.50, $2.50. So when we're really looking at it in the scheme of things, I got $12.50 here in the 4-pack. So $12.50 a month for the 4-pack for the 7-day recording. I don't think you need anything more than the 7-day recording. You can do 30 days. I wanted to say it's $10 and then half after the second or after the first. So if you wanted to do the 30-day recording for the 4-pack, you're talking $10, $15, $20, $25 for the 4-pack for 30 days of recording. I don't think you need that. You're generally going to know if something happens. You've got 7 days worth of recordings. You can go back and take a look at what's going on. So I don't personally use the 30-day. I use the 7-day, but that's just me. So let's go ahead and get into unboxing one of these bad boys. I'm going to go ahead and tilt my camera down here. And of course I did that, and I still wanted to go over the webpage here with you. They do have a 720p version of the EZCam for $29.99 or the 1080p for $39. It's one of the cheapest ones on the market you can get. Remote viewing day or night. As you can see on the app here, you have a record button, you have a photo button, and then you have the microphone. That's for your two-way audio. Of course, here it's talking about your two-way audio, motion detection alerts. This is what the screen for the alerts looks like. You can set the motion zones if you wanted to do that, and cloud recording. Now, of course, here's the pricing scheme: 30 days $9.99, 7 days $4.99. You can even save money if you purchase the whole year. I just personally do it on a monthly basis. They do use AES 256-bit encryption, and like I mentioned earlier, 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. So I'm going to leave that right here, and I'm going to make my camera a little bit bigger so that you can see me unboxing this bad boy. So we're going to go ahead and pull this out of the box. I already tore the sticker on the back, so I didn't have to worry about that here. Of course, it comes with a quick start guide. If you wanted to read that, it'll walk you through the setup. I already know how to set these up though, so I'm just going to move forward with it. So this is what your camera looks like. It's your Zmodo EZCam. Of course, it does have spots that you can mount it up onto a wall if you wanted it up on a wall, or it can just stand on its own. Comes with your drywall screws and anchors for mounting it to the wall, and then your power cable. Power cables, I believe, are about 6 feet long. Let me see if the box will confirm that. It's roughly 6 feet long. It's a good distance for a power cable. I'm going to go ahead and take this one and set her up. And so it doesn't really heat up. That's one of the good things about these things. I can leave this plastic on if I wanted to, and it would never really hurt it. Although it might get in the way of the lens. Alright, so now you see we have a green light flashing. So the green light flashing means that it is ready to be set up. Blue light flashing means it is actively setting up, and blue solid light means that you're getting a blue reflection. There's no actual blue there right now. A blue solid light means that it's active on your network and it's functioning properly. Maybe that'll help. We got a little bit of reflection here either way. Alright, we're just going to roll with that. So now I'm going to pull out my smartphone. I've got a Galaxy S8. You can use any Android or iOS device. You have to download the Zmodo app. I am going to record this, though, so that everybody can see what exactly I'm doing. And so you'll be able to see it over here in the video over on the left-hand side once I've got this up and going. So let me pull this up. Give me just a moment. I'm going to pause this. Alright, so down here in the app, you can see it kind of gives you a quick view of your cameras that you have. This is just a kind of default photo that it has. If you scroll down here, you'll see all your different devices. These are my current Zmodo devices. And if you hit this top upper plus sign, you can hit Add Device. And the recommended device method, setup method for Zmodo is this Zinc, this very top option here. So we're going to go ahead and press on that. We're only adding one device. I only recommend you add one device at a time, because any more than that, it kind of gets iffy. It gets weird. So just do one device at a time. It's fine. Just hit this blue check mark button. So it's going to tell you to connect to the ZMD SAP network. So we're going to go ahead and tap here to begin setup. It's going to take me to my phone's Wi-Fi settings. And so right now I'm connected to my home network, but I want to connect to that ZMD SAP. Alrighty, so I'm now connected to that. It's going to tell me that I'm not connected to the internet, and that's just perfectly fine, so I'm just going to tell it to dismiss. And I'm going to go back to our Zmodo app. Now, at this point, it knows that we're connected to the camera. It wants to know my home network's information. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. I'm going to enter in my password, which I already actually have set up in here so that you don't get to see me type it. And I'm going to hit this blue check mark button again. So now, if you watch the light here on the camera, you're going to start to see it change. It's probably going to start flashing blue here in just a moment. So let's just give it a second while it sets up. Sometimes this process can take a few minutes, and that's alright. But we'll start to see it set up here in just a minute. So what it's doing right now is it's communicating through the Wi-Fi that I had set up. It sent the, now you see the light just turned blue. It's sending the SSID and password and encryption information all to the camera for my home network. And so now it's connecting to my network, and now it's connected. Okay, so now it wants me to give it a name. Now this is one of the weird parts of this whole setup process. Oh, that's my internet provider telling me that a new device is connected to my network. It gets a little weird here. So I'm going to say EZ. See how it's doing that? EZ. Best thing to do is to write this out somewhere else and then just copy it in. Otherwise, you're stuck dealing with this. And I've emailed Zmodo about this, and they're aware of the problem. and they're going to fix it. But until then, we get to play with it. You can set your time zone, you can set a password. You don't have to set a password. It's already encrypted. It's already on your network. That is password protected, so you really don't have to worry about a password. Just hit this blue check mark, and now it's going to add it to your device. It's going to ask you if you want to set up a cloud service. Now again, I already used this for the 7-day. If I wanted to, I could just hit the button right now. For now, I'm going to hit no thanks. I'm going to move past this. You can still use it without a plan. Okay, you get a free 30-day trial if you want it. Otherwise, you just get, I think, I want to say it's 24 hours of alerts and recordings saved. So I'm going to say no. Well, you know, I'll go ahead and add that free trial on here for this one. Sure thing. Now, we're going to go back. If you wanted to share your device with somebody, say somebody else in your house has a Zmodo account of their own, or you have family. I personally share some of my cameras with my parents. They live in other states, so it's nice for them to be able to just tune in and start talking to us every now and then. Of course, I don't want them to have every camera because I don't want them to see me walking around naked in my house. But if I wanted to, I could hit share. I could share by email address or contacts. These are my parents that I already have set up. Now, you'll see my device is right here. So if I click on that, we'll get a screenshot of it. And so if I click this microphone button right here, we'll start talking. Test, test, test. Okay? So here we got our audio, so it'll actually, I can hear if I turn my volume up. Okay. Woo! And that's called audio feedback. Test. So you heard me talking. That was what's picking up through the microphone, through the camera here, is when I hit this audio. So that's the sound. That's the sound in the room. Now, if I hit the microphone and initiate, it only takes one press to initiate with the 1080p. With the 720p, you have to hold the button down, but with the 1080p, you press it once, it activates it. Testing. Testing, testing. Testing. Seems like it might be a little bit delayed right now, probably because I just set it up. Yeah, see, it's still trying to catch up. Which is fine. I mean, it's just being set up for the first time. It takes a little bit of time sometimes. Are we talking yet? Yeah, it's running a little bit behind at the moment. If I wanted to go back, I can look at my recordings, see it. I don't have a cloud service. I guess I don't get 24 hours without the cloud service, though. So you can still live view without the cloud service, but you can't record. Oh, hey, look, now it's turning with me. So you can see I turn my camera on my screen, it moves around. Alrighty, let's see if we can get some audio now. So I'm going to talk. You know what we might need to check? If we click on the settings button here, there should be a volume right there. Let's turn that up a little bit. Talk, test, test, talking, talking, test. I wonder if I got a bad camera. That'd be interesting. It would be a first. I've never gotten a bad camera from them before. Let's see. So right now our default, we're actually set to 10 frames per second on our frame rate. If I wanted to automatically turn on night vision, I could do that to where it's always on. Boom, there it goes. So you can see how it brightens up my hand here. That's that IR. So you see the red light right here on the camera. That's when you know that the night vision is on. It says my microphone's on too. So where was I? Night vision. Let's turn that back to auto so it detects the light and will turn itself on and off. So there you have it. I set up one. That's the Zmodo Pro 1080p 4-pack. You get 4 of these with your set for $125. That's not a bad deal, I would say. Like I said, I use these cameras all the time. You see back with my back on the page here, I have multiple cameras that I have set up already that I use to monitor my house with. So it's definitely worth it. If you don't have it, pick up one of them. I would recommend at least one, even if you want to just start with the 720p, because that's where I started, was with the 720p easy camera. It was $29.99, $30 for a home security camera. You can't beat that. And on top of that, I would just like to point out some of the other products real quick that Zmodo has that I have and that I look forward to having. They have an outdoor doorbell, video doorbell, the 1080p Greek Pro. This is their top of the line, competes with Ring, $179. I got the one with Beam Alert because the Beam acts as a Wi-Fi extender for the doorbell as well. Excellent device. Two-way audio. It gives you alerts even if your phone's on silent. Of course, you have to allow that on your phone. It's not just going to do it by default. You have to hit accept. They have their 360 cameras. They even have some that come with sensors. I think this one, the 1080p pan and tilt, if I'm not mistaken. I talked to a buddy who actually bought, I think it was this one, works with the sensors so that it looks around. If you set up the door sensors on a door, for example, it will turn to that door and look while it's being opened. I think it was that one. I'm pretty sure it was this pan and tilt. They have some other products coming out. They have a smart thermostat, smart sprinkler. I think that one might actually already be out if I'm not mistaken. Nope, not yet. These are your accessories kits. It's going to include like the door sensors, your panic buttons. Yeah, I think these are even smoke detectors. So yeah, smoke detectors, motion sensors, things like that. So they're coming out with a lot of really cool products. They already have a lot of really great products, a lot of really great cameras, and they're just kind of moving up with what they have. Another one of the cool things that I like with this thermostat that they've announced, again, haven't come up with yet, but they've announced it, the smart thermostat, is that it's going to work with sensors. These sensors will detect the temperature in each room that you put them in, and then there are also vents that they're going to work with. Oh, and it works with Alexa. There are vents that they've announced that they're coming out with, and these vents, smart vents, will open and close in that room to help level out the temperature throughout your house. So that was something that they announced. It's really cool. I guess I could show you all the Zmodo web app real quick while I'm still at it. I know this is kind of running long, but I guess I could give you that since, you know, it's a part of the product. So the online, it's kind of the same deal. You can come in here, you can look at each individual device. Like I said, I personally like the ZViewer software on my home computer because I can get all my cameras at once. It's kind of a control center, but through the website you can do one at a time. You can listen in. Oh, audio feedback. That's what happens when you have a microphone and a speaker on at the same time. It just starts looping. So you can do that. You can look at your clips. You can look at your cloud services. This is where you can also come in and sign up for all your different devices. Like I told you all earlier, I used the 7-day. This was a new camera. I haven't set this one up yet, my outdoor camera. I actually have it sitting right here waiting to be set up. I have tested it. So this has been tested and is waiting for use, waiting for installation. If I can get this in camera. So you see it has an adapter, it has a longer cable. This is my outdoor camera that I just got recently. Can't wait to get that one set up. Got my 4-pack of EZCam Pros, got my doorbell, got, like I said, a 1080 in my kitchen, got 3 720p's. This is where I actually started, right here with my living room 720p easy camera. This is the very first one I got. It's like I said, it's been excellent so far. I think the biggest problem that I've run into with Zmodo, and I'm just going to be straightforward with this, biggest con to this whole thing, is that when I changed my Wi-Fi password, I had to go through and reset up every single device, which you have to take it off of your app, you have to remove the device, and then you can bring it back up and restart it. I think I left this going. No, I didn't. Okay. Alright, well, that's going to be it, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this video review. I know it kind of ran long, but guys, I can't express how happy I am with these things. with these Zmodo cameras. I wish I had them years ago. Sturdy devices. One thing I will also say though, the back piece will allow you, if you grab it, you can actually turn your camera, which is, it's cool because you can turn it to plug it in, you can turn it back. If you need it sitting at an angle for whatever reason, if you have this on a wall mounted this way, you can turn the camera upright like that. But that is very important to know because I didn't used to know that, and one day my camera turned about like this, and then I was wondering why my camera angle was all jacked up. And I've seen reviews on Amazon, other people posted that said, oh, my camera was all crooked. Well, it's because it turns. I mean, that's a built-in design so that, you know, you can mount it at any angle and just turn the camera up just like that. It generally stays in place, but if you move it, it moves. So don't be alarmed about that. Just straighten it out and it'll be good to go. Y'all have a good one.